love isn't the absence of hurt. Like, I wish people would stop thinking that if you love somebody and if they love you, they're not going to hurt you. You're not going to hurt them. You can only hurt somebody that you love. If I don't have any love, it ain't shit you could do. You know what I'm saying? You going to fuck somebody and that shit ain't going to affect me at all. It's only love where now we're talking about hurt. We're talking about betrayal. We're talking about all of those emotions, those really negative emotions. And in this new age, they be like, if he makes you feel like that, he doesn't love you. If you make him feel like that, you don't love him. He don't love like whatever the kid. And it's like we wouldn't have this dynamic if there was no love there.
This is Sad Boy Radio.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sad Boy Radio. I'm your host, Matt, and today, man, we got a very special guest in the building. He's a returning guest. He's the owner of Southside Blue Hearts. Man, just dropped 2 crazy projects. One back last year.
Sir.
One dropped Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Today is Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you've been on a roll, bro. Stamped early on by Cole Bennett.
Yeah.
Obviously, we got to throw that shit in there for the people that didn't watch the first one.
Facts.
Introduce yourself, bro.
I am Kayo. I'm a rapper. I am a songwriter. I try to sing sometimes. And I'm a performer. And yeah, that's my brother. And it's good to be back up here and discuss some sad boy things. I'm not a sad boy anymore, but we can still have a conversation.
Your music is not taking a journey through the ideation of suicide anymore.
It's
For
not.
one,
Yeah,
that's something you don't hear in your music no more,
Mhm.
which I'm glad, right?
absolutely.
But even outside of that, with Domino, I feel like it is you on the other side of everything that you had been going through. So
Mhm.
until His Burial is you processing it,
Mhm.
and Domino is you on the other side being
Yeah.
able to reflect on the overall experience rather than having a skewed viewpoint.
Right.
I don't
yeah.
know if that's how you feel about it.
Nah, that was a perfect synopsis. That was honestly better than I would have given it myself. Domino really was just me having fun. But in retrospect, I guess that is like the final, I guess, like transition of that person. Like it's the like third installment of that person, third and final installment.
And I say that because this is at the end of the outline, but for some reason I'm gonna just hop right in that bitch, right? But I say that because I think of how in Check on You, you talk about the death of your grandmother, and then still in the same song, Check on You, say, but fuck all that sad shit.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of just brush it off, right?
Yeah.
You do what the regular
Mhm.
male does, and
Yeah.
I don't really care for real.
Yeah.
Even though that shit affects you. And then you go to Domino and you have First Order of Business. And on First Order of Business, you start talking about your grandma again and all the things that she taught you. And it's like a whole 8-16 bars worth of lessons that she gave you. You know what I'm saying?
That's a hard synopsis. I ain't gonna lie. You actually, you know what I'm saying? Like you kind of putting a smile on my face because I think a lot of time as artists, or for me speaking for myself, I just kind of write and I just kind of let the spirit lead me, let God lead me. And then sometimes I'll look back on it like, damn, I did say some cold shit right there. And it honestly don't even be intentional all the time. But as I'm listening to you, I'm kind of thinking back on myself like that was kind of a gradual growth from Check on You to First Order of Business, being able to look back on it and be like, actually, as opposed to brushing it off, I'm gonna sit with it and then take what I can get from this. There's an Easter egg in First Order of Business as well, because on Until His Burial, I refer to my grandmother, obviously, as grandmother. And then on Domino, on First Order of Business, I'm speaking in first person, but I'm speaking about someone else because I refer to her as great grandmother. So it's like if you could piece 2 and 2 together, like there's some there's something there because it's the same person, and she's obviously not all of a sudden my great grandmother.
What was it that made you brush it off in the first place?
I'm one of those people that like try to put my own grief aside for the bigger picture. And so when I actually got the news that my grandmother had passed, I was actually in Trinidad at my girl at the time for her grandmother's funeral. Like I was in Trinidad. Like you hear it in the song actually somewhere near Venezuela, crying about the death of my abuela. Like I was in Trinidad. It was the day of yeah, her grandmother's funeral. Rest in peace. Um it was the day of her grandmother's funeral. So when I got the call, I was actually like putting on my clothes and shit. Not a suit. Can't remember what I was putting on because it's hot as hell in Trinidad, especially during the summer. So it definitely wasn't a suit, but I was putting on something. And my dad had called and was like, "Hey, just before you hear from somebody else social media, just letting you know that your grandma passed." And I didn't tell nobody like the entire day. The first person to bring it up wasn't even me. It was actually my girl's mom, who it was her mom that passed. I was hugging her on some like, you know what I'm saying? Like everything will be okay type shit. And then she was like, "Did you hear about your grandmother?" And I was like, "Of course I did." But I didn't even say nothing the whole day because it felt weird almost like being like, "Hey guys, mine's too," you know what I'm saying? Like, so I just kind of bottled it up. But what that ended up doing was making me like keep it bottled because I bottled it so well because of the circumstances that I actually didn't even need to go back in to unbottle it until working on more music and just really like sitting with it and then going with more loss. Like loss has a habit of like coming in twos, like or threes or fours. Yeah, yeah. Like for real. Like loss, like it'll like you'll lose one thing and then it's just like a ripple effect. And it's almost like God, like, nah, look, like get the lesson out of that first thing. You ain't learned it the first time, you'll learn it the second or the third time. And I bottled it and then I lost some more, like we won't get into that yet, but like lost some more. And then it was like, damn, let me get back to that. And then I was listening. It was so funny because me and you hear her name on the album, so I'm not just putting her name out there. Me and Asia, when we started like having whatever issues, it was so funny because in the voicemail and check on you, she says Asia's name. No funny shit. I never realized that. I never noticed it
Damn.
until we were going through issues and I was just going back and I was listening to check on you. I'm like super like I gotta work on my ego sometimes. Like I listen to my music more than anybody. Like I like my shit gets the most play in my car by far. And I'm just like playing check on you. Flood, actually, my cousin Flood texted. This is a long story, but I promise I'm gonna get to
Nah,
the
you're
point.
good. You're good.
Flood texted me actually earlier that day and was like, "Yo, second verse to check on you is like the craziest shit of all time." And when I get texts like that, it make me go back and listen to what I was saying. And I just ended up, like playing it on a loop. And I'm listening, and she says something like something to the effect of "Say hey to Asia for me, I love it," like something like that. And I was like, "Damn, I never noticed that." And it was funny because when I ran into Asia shortly after the project dropped, I ran into her, and she like said that she liked the project, which was really funny because she doesn't like she's not a like she listens to mainstream rap, but she not a rap person. So it was interesting. I caught myself being happy, like, damn, this is the first time she ever like likes one, you know what I'm saying, likes one of my projects. And then it dawned on me, oh, that's why you like it, because your name and that shit. And you know what I'm saying, in a positive light. Which is probably not why, but that's just how I, you know what I'm saying, processed it in my head. But all that to say, when I went back through check on you, it had made me kind of reprocess those feelings, and then I got a chance to really just sit with it, see what she was trying to tell me my whole life. You hear me talk about her on Running, you hear me talk about her on Check on You, obviously, you hear me talk about her on First Order of Business. There's a few different songs where I talk about her.
You talk about your grandmother on Running. You talk about her on First Order of Business. Check on You. What kind of impact did she have on you while she was still here?
Her name was Marsha LaFleur, because I never put her name out there, so let me just put it on record. Her name's Marsha LaFleur. um she gave me an identity that I wasn't really getting at home, if that makes sense. Cause my parents, of course, you know my story if you hear my music. My parents, like when I was first born, my parents had money. They weren't like filthy, filthy, filthy rich, but we were pretty well off. That ended up, you know, going backwards once I got maybe like 7 or 8 years old. But when I was developing and just kind of going through puberty, different things like that, my parents were always, even when we had money, they were cheap as hell. Like they didn't buy us Jordans. They didn't buy, like they were real, like they made us read. You know, like if we wanted to go outside, if we wanted to do anything, we had to read a book. We had to do like they were really education forward, and it was almost like imbalanced because they cared most about education and then didn't really care about those other things that a kid would care about, like shoes and doing this and having video game. We didn't have no new game. Not one time in our lives did my parents buy us a new game system. Any game system we had was the oldest model. Like when I swear to God, when the when the Xbox 360 came out, we got the Xbox like that year as a gift.
Damn.
Like it was the craziest shit in the world. Like when the PS4 came out, I got the PS2 for the first
The PS2?
time. Yeah. I mean, no. When the PS3 came out, I got the
Oh,
PS2 for the
okay,
first time
okay.
in my life. Like, and then ironically enough, when the PS4 came out, I got the PS3. But that wasn't even my parents. I was damn near grown ass
Yeah, that
man
was
by
you,
then.
that
Yeah,
was
that
you.
was just me. My nana, however, she always cared about how she looked, how she smelled, how she dressed. Like she was real meticulous. She ain't like she cared about education deeply, actually. Like deeply. She wanted to whoop my ass when I dropped out of high school. But she cared equally as much about how you present yourself to the world. And she kind of gave me that. Cause my mom don't care about that. My dad don't care about that. Even my mom's mom, my grandma on my mom's side, who I wrote Grandma's Boy about, she don't really care. But like she'll walk out the house with a crochet hat. Like she real eccentric, like don't really care how nobody view her. My nana though, she like, if you walking out of my house representing me, your hair need to be cut, your nails need to be filed, your skin need to be clear, your teeth need to be white. Like she was real meticulous. She used to have like toothbrushes in her crib. Maybe that's just some grandma shit, but that was just always impressive to me as a little boy because I hated brushing my teeth. So like to go somewhere where you have multiple like unused toothbrushes just in case you need it, like that was just always like, damn, she clean as hell. And it gave me that identity. What, you got that in your shit?
No. Well, I think my grandma used to be like that, but again, that might be some grandma
Yeah,
shit.
just some grandma shit. All in all, she just gave me my identity to kind of want nice things and to look nice and to appear nice into the world. And obviously, if you listen to my music, that is what makes me who I am musically. So she played a very, very big role just with my self identity.
What I need to understand is because we talked about it a little bit in the first interview, right? Going from having a lot to then having nothing. You talked about that being one of the hardest parts of growing up. If they were so cheap, how did they go from having everything to nothing?
So you have to realize you have two different things at play. I don't want to turn this into a political conversation, but in America, you got two different things at play. You have, of course, cost of living, but then you also have just job, like the job force, the workforce. My mom was very, like me and my mom get into it, not super often, but enough because we're like two peas in a pod. Um, and it's so funny because I was listening to the Joe Budden podcast. Joe Budden was like, every man gets to an age where he starts to realize what his father was talking about when he was a kid. Because when you younger, you see your parents argue, you be like, man, what this nigga so mad about? You know what I'm saying? Then you like, oh, that's what the fuck he's so mad about. And like, I've gotten there with my mom, but the reason I bring it up is because I see now like how, and of course the blame ain't on her. It's not on nobody, but I see how the part that she played in it is my mom is real, like, kind of like ditzy. I hope that's not a disrespectful word. I don't think it is, but she's real, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nothing really matters. She don't care about money. She don't care about nothing. And she actually quit her job. She was a lawyer, and she just, like, quit working at the law firm just because my dad was bringing in enough money to, like, take care of the home. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how much money he was making, that she could quit her lawyer job to just be a stay-at-home mom. And she did that.
And that was him working with the minister?
That was him being some kind of, I don't know, superintendent, principal, somewhere in U46 school district. But he was making like a lot of money. Yeah. And she quit her job.
Y'all were big balling.
I've gotten this story now in retrospect, like in hindsight. But basically, my dad was like, as a man, ain't no man gonna tell their wife, nah, you better keep that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Just in case. Like if your wife wanna not work, I mean shit, that's her prerogative, that's her role. I want to say that's her role. That sounds crazy. But like that's her option. And my dad called himself doing that, but was never honest with himself. That's where I get it from. He was never honest with himself or with us to say, hey, I'm finna take this job over here. It's gonna be less money. It's gonna be damn near half of what I'm making now. And it's gonna be way more out like just FYI, you might want to pick up another job. He never had that conversation. So our lifestyle was never crazy. It was just here. But our income was here. And then the income went here. And then my dad got another job that was more fulfilling but less money, and it went here. But our lifestyle never, like it just stayed consistent because he wouldn't just be honest. And that's a lesson. Like their life story really to me is like a lesson. If it's one thing I'll never do is lie to myself or the people around me. You know what I'm saying? Because of their story. Like not because they liars, but out of fear of ruffling feathers, he just never really kept it a buck.
He wasn't fully honest.
Exactly. So with himself first. Yeah.
There's the honesty and there's the transparency, right? It's not that he was withholding the information because he wanted to do it out of malicious intent. He was withholding it because he just
out of love, yeah, like wanted to just keep shit the same. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to make my kids feel away. I don't want to make my wife feel away. I'ma just men have a habit of just like taking shit on a chin and not really saying, you know what, this is something I can't handle. We have, I know you've been through it. I definitely been through it of just, you know what, I got it. I'll figure it out. Instead of just saying, this is bigger than me, I need help. And my dad, in the name of being a real man, he was able to keep his real man title and then just lost everything. You know what I'm saying? Lost everything else in the process.
So he left the job to go work with the minister.
Essentially for the minister. He went to go work for the Nation of Islam, which we're all still in. Still Muslims, obviously.
Your mom followed suit as well.
Don't quote me on that. I think she did that before him, but she was kind of like, I don't want to say volunteer, but she was just like
there.
Help. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like there. He went to be what he was doing for the school district out in Elgin, he went to do that for the Nation of Islam, for all of the MUIs around the country. In fact, there's one outside of the country. So I guess all the MUIs around the world, and was the national director, basically. So it was a much more like the minister put him in an incredible position. But obviously, this world that we live in, like, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to benefits, when it comes to all of those things, like when you're working for a church, working for a mosque, working for these, ironically enough, the institutions that deserve the most have the least. You know what I'm saying? Like when you working for the world for, again, I don't want to make it political, but for Satan's world, it's like you get all you need. You know what I'm saying? Like you get all the things that you need to live a good lifestyle, so to speak, but it's unfulfilling. You know what I'm saying? People come home and they sad, they depressed, they got to go to happy hour to drink and stuff. My dad was never, ever, not one time was he unfulfilled. Like he always came on with a smile, always was in a good mood because you working with God's people and you doing a fulfilling thing. It's just it don't pay. You know what I'm saying? As it don't pay the same way that it fulfills, if that makes sense.
What was it that made you follow suit in working with a religious organization?
Same thing as my dad, honestly, which is I don't really care about money. Like I'll figure the money part out. I've never been a person I've been strapped for cash before, but it's never defined me. And I always find my way through anything. So yeah, I try to do the things that just fulfill me. You know what I'm saying? Like I try to do the things that bring me joy, that make me happy, that I can wake up every morning, I can look in the mirror and be like, damn, I'm happy that I'm doing this. Whether it's a 9 to 5, whether it's a hobby, like whatever it is, I'm not one of those people that do things trying to climb some social ladder. That's why I didn't go to college, because it was like nothing that I wanted to do in life required college. So the only thing I would be doing was going into debt to climb some social ladder to get a good job. Like I don't really care about that. If it don't fulfill me, I don't want nothing to do.
Do you feel like you're fulfilled now?
I definitely have like more that I want to do. But honestly, most people, their sadness comes from like wanting to achieve more. Mine's comes from wanting to take back some things. Like if I could take back maybe 2 or 3 mistakes in my life, but keep everything that I have right now, I'd be happiest person on earth for sure.
What do you feel like is the most crucial mistake you would take back?
I'm a person who I'm slow to making decisions. I'm a very flow in the wind kind of person. Like if you ask me, am I free on Sunday? I could have my entire Sunday booked up and I'll say I'll let you know. Knowing damn well I'm not gonna be free on Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm one of the people like I don't like to just make defined no's. And my inability to say no has gotten me in more jams than I can count. But most recently, it's gotten me in a very, very tumultuous situation where it's like sometimes being a good person will pigeonhole you into doing very, very bad things to yourself and to others. I saw this tweet that it spoke to me so much. It was like the worst person you know, which obviously I'm not the worst person I know, but I'm very hard on myself. Like when I look in the mirror, I bring like I'm not one of the people that be like my toxic trait is I'm too good for the world, like all that dumb shit. Like I don't do shit like that. I look in the mirror and I'm honestly too hard on myself. Like I be like, damn, I could have done this differently. And I saw this tweet that it said the worst person you know, um, it says something to the effect of the worst person you know probably is a person that says yes to everybody, something like that. And I was like, damn, that's me like a motherfucker. And it's like, that's why I end up hurting people because it's like, I'll say, like, the person, like, they'll have 5 tickets to I don't know, to a J. Cole concert. And they'll have 10 friends. And all 10 friends will ask them for a ticket. And they'll say yes to all 10 friends. You think you a good person, but it's like, you just lied to 5 motherfuckers at least. You know what I'm saying? Like 5 of them niggas ain't getting no ticket. And it's like your inability to hurt somebody is finna hurt them even worse on the day of that show, and they can't go because you don't have no ticket for them. So you just lied to them. I'm that person. Like I'll be like, oh yeah, we could do. And it's like I know damn well I can't make that happen, but in the name of trying to make it happen, I'll just say yes. So the biggest regret, I just super spent that whole thing, so I ain't have to put my business out there. But the biggest regret definitely is just one of those things of, and I'm thinking of the moment in my head, but it's like not being able to just draw a cold, hard line in the sand for myself and the people that I care about.
Drawing that boundary, it not only prevents you from getting hurt, but it prevents you from hurting others. And a lot of the times we do that, we fail to draw that boundary because we think it's maybe what we want. Maybe we think that it's good for us in the moment until the consequences of our actions come back and, truly impact us. So when I think about that, right, when I think about like those crucial mistakes that you could take back, it's like, damn, I did hurt a lot of people, right? But I really hurt myself in the end as well.
You always hurt yourself the most. Like even in this trial that I'm in right now, I'm like the person that loses the most is me. Cause everybody else gets like the problem with being self-aware, especially when you're dealing with people that aren't self-aware. I don't know what possesses me. Like I fall in love, and I don't just mean romantically, like just the people that I choose to have in my life, I like fall in love with like the total opposite of myself. Like people that have no self-awareness, have no accountability skills. Meanwhile, I'm like the polar opposite. Like I'll not be responsible for some shit and it'll keep me up at night. Like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Me and so and so beefing right now. Like I got like I'm one of those people. And it's just so funny because everyone gets to go on about their life and you know what I'm saying? Like they have their narratives of you and they just have their narratives that they get to run with. Meanwhile, you are left kind of picking up the pieces and just like, damn, I didn't just hurt nobody but myself. You know what I'm saying? This person gets to move on. They get to be the victim in the situation. Everyone loves being a victim. If you can walk away from it, well, real niggas hate being a victim. But in this world, everyone loves being a victim, especially when you're dealing with, I ain't gonna turn this podcast into the Joe Rogan podcast, but men and women are different, right? Women naturally are just
Hey, bro, say what you gotta say, bro.
Women,
We've had some people say some shit on here, bro.
yeah, women naturally are less accountable usually, and not for any bad reason. Like it's not because they're bad. They naturally are made to be provided for, protected, and maintained. So any situation where they are not any of the three, they're going to feel like the victim, even if they're the reason why they weren't protected, they weren't provided. You know what I'm saying? Like they could damn near like dead ass be the reason why you weren't able to protect them. You know, like they could dangerous analogy, and I hope nobody take this the wrong way, but they could be walking up the street with like a meat dress on and then get attacked by a pack of wild dogs. And then they'll be like blue that you didn't like fight them dogs off. It's like these are rabid fucking coyote. Like, what do you want me to do with that?
I'll clean it up a little bit right now, right? It's like if you're at the club, right? And you know, some people, some girls can be aggressive.
Oh man, I know exactly where
somebody,
you're going.
you know, not
Yeah.
even like somebody's trying to get at them, but somebody might like accidentally like nudge them.
Yeah.
Why you nudge me?
Right, yeah,
like
yeah.
what's up? Like what's up with
Right.
it? And then who has to
And
hop
now you
in?
gotta box this thing. You're like, dog. But it's like if you don't hop in, that car ride home gonna be the most quietest ride in the world. But it's like it's natural for them. That is their superpower is as hard as they want to act, they really are just these gentle creatures that just want to be protected, provided for, maintained, even if they have to put themselves in a position to watch how good you can protect it. It's the silliest shit in the world to me, but it makes all the sense to them. And it's a natural flow. Like it ain't an unnatural thing. That's why I hate the like Twitter discourse when people like, man, these bitches. And it's like, no, they just like they're women. You know what I'm saying? Like most niggas aren't used to dealing with actual women. So that is a culture shock to them. But that is like even with your little sister, even with like if you have a niece, like if you watch them from birth coming up, they will literally put themselves in very compromising situations just to see how your problem solving skills are. And the funny shit is sometimes they'll even have the solution. I done seen situations with women like where they'll throw themselves in a situation and will have the solution, but they just want to see how good are your problem solving skills. Like I got the money just in case, but let me see if you gonna find a way to pay this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that, like I've even seen that. Crazy as hell to me, but it makes sense to them, and I'm honestly not even.
That's that girl math.
Yeah.
That's the girl math.
Yeah. We didn't even have to have this long talk. We could have just said girl math. Like that's all it is.
But if for real, be like that. I remember I went out to the club with this one girl, and she was getting all pissed off that some girl kept like bumping in her. I'm like, oh fuck, you're a fighter, aren't you? I'm like, nah, bro. That's not what we're doing here. Man, let's take it back real quick though. I wanted to open with this. Last time you were here, we talked about it was fun while it lasted. And shit. Damn near 2 years ago, bro. It was a concept album that you created and you brought it to life. When you thought of it, it meant something completely different than once it came out. 2 years later, what does it now mean to you?
It means more to me, but cinematically and like thematically, it means the same thing. It started as a album that was just totally opposite of what it ended up being. It ended up being an album that was about damn to the good times, to the bad times. It's like learning to appreciate those things and saying, wow, well, they were fun while it lasted. And now it's honestly, my life has played out in every sense of the word. Like it's played out that album, not played out like it's played out, but it is literally anything that wasn't already happening has now happened since I made that album. And I really wrote my future. If you listen to the second verse on Wait on Me, I say marriage on horizon, I'm in love, it's hard to hide it. Child emojis in the comments, give it time, it's coming soon. I'm just waiting on a broom. I'ma jump, I swear to God. Then I double down and say, something born in luxury. My sister get a nephew, she gonna make him tough for me. My brother get a nephew, he gonna like I go into literally the gender of the child just for 2 years later to be having that the exact description that I gave on the album where I wasn't nowhere near having a child. Not only do I have a child on the way, if you listen to the project, but it's a boy. And shit like that don't be accidental to me. It's like, damn. So now it's even more. It was fun while it lasted. Like looking at the bad, and if you know that story well of, you know what I'm saying, like who I'm talking about, whatever. It's like looking at the bad, it's like, man, I want to fuck her. You know what I'm saying? But then it's like, it was fun while it lasted. Like, look at the beauty that you got. You got a gift for the rest of your, like, you have a lifelong, like most birthday gifts, them shits last a month, 2 months. If you get a really good gift, like 6 months, a year, you know what I'm saying? Somebody buy you a car, that new car feeling maybe lasts 6 months to a year. But a child, like, especially in them early years, that shit gonna be a gift until they get old enough to piss you the fuck off. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, damn, look at the gift that God gave me, even through.
A tumultuous situation. I didn't think we were going there.
Honestly, I didn't plan on it, but I'm a big God forward person. I'm very big on being God centric, and just having God at the center of everything. And the question that you asked, it made me, the first song that I went back to was Wait on Me. And that's something that's been on my mind heavy. Cause at first I was cursing myself. Like,
You remember how I mentioned it?
when back then?
Yeah.
I don't.
You don't? I was listening back to our interview because I had caught that. And I
Mhm.
was like, you're not having a kid, are you? And you're like, no, but you were close as fuck because it was somebody else having a kid. Who was it? It was D-Ro?
Probably D-Ro, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Or Flood? I
Yeah,
don't know.
maybe Flood. Wait on Me.
Somebody.
Maybe my brother.
No,
2
somebody
years
else
ago?
was having a kid.
Not
I
2
think it
years
was
ago. That's my
D-Ro.
nephew.
No, I think it was D-Ro.
D-Ro just had a child, like not even a year ago, like 6 months ago. My brother had one almost exactly 2 years ago.
When looking back over these past 2 years, what was the moment that changed the direction of your life?
Major moment, honestly, grandmother passing, obviously, that shifted a lot. Me and my shorty going our separate ways, got engaged and then went our separate ways. I think when I interviewed with you, we hadn't been engaged yet. Yeah, so got engaged and then went our separate ways. Um and what's funny is the project technically was done before we got engaged, if I'm not mistaken. And then we got engaged and I wrote you a song, right? Because it was, you know what I'm saying, some little beef there, some little tension about what I'm talking about on I Wrote You a Song.
That shit was not done.
When we broke, no, it was. But when we broke up, I wrote you a song. That's what I did when we broke up. But what I did when we got engaged was
Lovepunch.
was Last Resort. I say I'm out in San Diego for proposals where I do the most. DreamWorks execs to custom dinner just to call a toast. So that was done on the way to San Diego to propose. Like that was done then. So the project was done it was finishing around the time of the proposal. And then the breakup happened. So I wrote you a song real quick. Lovepunch, ironically enough, was a moment of me manifesting my life. Lovepunch was been done. Like I wasn't going through none of that shit at the time until it happened. Then I ended
Stop
up
writing
living
this
it.
shit down,
I know,
bro. Stop writing this shit down.
In fact, Lovepunch, Sanai can bear you witness. She did the hook on that, obviously. She pulled up to my crib with Asia in there, like with her in the crib. Like they were both in the crib at the same time while Sanai was recording it. So we were like perfectly fine when we did Lovepunch.
So then with Until His Burial, you open the project with I Wrote a Song About You. Right? And in the song you say, you admire on the wall inside this empty home, nothing here but shattered expectations you insisted on believing in. When I told you that my house was made of stone, at least I wrote your ass a song.
Yo, you might actually, I usually am good with my music history of myself. You might be right. I think I'm mixing up Until His Burial with It Was Fun While It Lasted in terms of the timing. Because they both kind of overlap. Like I was working on Until His Burial towards the closing end of It Was Fun While It Lasted. And then I paused it because I dropped It Was Fun While It Lasted and then picked it back up. I think you're right. I think that project came post the breakup. It had to, yeah. Because I'm hearing that like I wouldn't have even said because I know what story made me write that, and that was long after.
Again, like I said, with Until His Burial, it sounds like you're going through the process of processing everything that has happened. Because like I said, by the time Domino comes around, you know, give my everything. What is it? Give my everything.
Oh, give you everything.
When it comes to Domino, you're on Give You Everything, and you're talking about all this stuff. And it honestly sounds like you're okay with everything that has happened. Whereas on Until His Burial, it's no, like I'm fucked up right now.
I'm processing. I'm going through it. Yeah.
So what were those expectations that you failed to live up to at that time?
When you're an artist, you have to be very careful and very selective about who you choose to spend the rest of your life with. Cause not too many people can stomach being second to anything. Like we live in a very selfish world. Everybody wants to be me, one. Very few people are willing to put themselves to the side in the name of a bigger picture. And I think that I know, I'm taught that a man's purpose comes number one before anything. Because a man's purpose is his direct connection with Allah. To put a woman before your purpose is putting a woman before God. And I don't know about y'all, I wouldn't do that. If y'all want to do that, by all means, you know what I'm saying, have at it. But I wouldn't do that. And now, loosely speaking, not loosely speaking, but don't take that loosely. Your purpose is a real divine thing. Don't tell me that your purpose is to be a fucking, I don't know, like I don't want to diss no jobs, you know what I'm saying? But like be real specific about what you think your purpose is. Like, cause that'll just piss a woman off. You be like, no, this is my purpose. It's like, nigga, no, it's not. You know what I'm saying? Like you putting this shit over me, like, no, it's not. But I truly believe that music is my purpose. And I was kind of reaffirmed in that belief by my teacher, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And because of it being my purpose and me not putting anything over my purpose, I think the expectation that I wasn't living up to is I think that a lot of people in my life take it off of my relationships. Just people expect me to be present for them in the same way that they see me be present for the music. And the fact is, I'm not in a place, I can't be in two places at once. So I damn sure can't be in 10 places at once. Like, and I think it's a bless. I don't think that any of those people are wrong for saying, you know what, you can't prioritize me. I don't want anything to do with you. That's fine. But my response is you could either stick it out with me, with someone that loves you, with someone that has care for you, with someone like I'm a very romantic guy. Like when things that matter come, of course every day matters, but in those moments that matter, I'm there, I'm present. I give gifts out of this world. Like I'm a very strategic, thoughtful person in that regard. But the exchange is sometimes I need a week to just cook. Sometimes I'm in a space where it's like I'll be driving and a line will be kind of forming in my head and I'm like trying to put it together and I'll just zone out while driving. I've damn near ran lights, like just not paying attention to it. Not even being on my phone and just like so zoned out on just pieces that I'm trying to put together of a theme. And it happens sometimes. And I think that you have to be a person. If you're the spouse or the partner of an artist, that has to be a willful decision of I'm going to help this person get to where they're going. And the trade-off is kind of once they get, hopefully, if they're a good person, once they get there, you get all that time and energy back tenfold. But you got to be with somebody that trusts that you'll get there. And what I've learned is, even though I know I'm going to get there, a lot of people and a lot of the people that I've given my heart to don't believe it as strong as I do. Because they look at what I'm doing as a crash out mission. Like, nigga, you going to put $2,000-$3,000 a month into this shit and I get a date once every 2 weeks, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got me fucked up. Like, that's how they view it. But a woman with some wherewithal, or not even wherewithal, let me not even diss nobody, just a woman who believes in you is going to be like, damn, I wish I could get more dates than that. But I know on the flip side, like, this is going to be an investment that's worth my time.
And the thing about that second guessing in you, right? You feel that. You
Yeah.
understand that this person doesn't 100% believe in what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And the issue with that is now it pushes you to pull away and invest even more time into what you're doing, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which then causes them to feel abandoned.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's why, like, when
Yeah.
just like we were talking about, right?
Mhm.
The fact that I always wondered if somebody lost a relationship because they weren't ready for something, right?
Right.
That's where that comes into play.
Yeah.
Because when you're so focused on, I want to be the biggest thing possible,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe not even the biggest thing possible, but
Just my place.
I want to be here and I want people to eventually recognize every single thing that I'm doing.
I want to be cemented.
And unfortunately, what happens is I can't give you everything. I can't give you every single thing that you are looking for. And I used to tell people that all the time. You know, if you find somebody that's willing to give you every single thing that I can't give you right now,
That's my favorite line.
go ahead.
That's my favorite line. I love that line.
Go find
You toxic.
No.
Nah, you toxic.
That,
That,
you know
I
what?
use that line.
That's when I was in my toxic king era. I'm not gonna lie.
I definitely know what that line is used for.
But that was because I genuinely believed that, right? Because to me, it wasn't toxic because I understood what I could and what I couldn't give. And if you decide to stay,
hey, listen to him justify it.
if I tell you what it is and you decide to stick around, that's on you. You can't blame me for being upfront with you about a situation and you got your feelings hurt.
Now you talking to a person who is very good at articulating themselves. So if there's anybody who can manipulate, it's me. Like, believe me. But in fairness to the young lady, you can say some. In fact, I just had this argument today. Just because you say something that's true doesn't make it any less hurtful. The statement that you can go find better, or if you find better elsewhere, like go get it, like cool. It's a true statement, technically speaking. Like it seems like there's nothing inherently wrong with it. But the problem is what the statement is saying underneath that first layer is I'm not willing to change. Like it's like why do I like if I'm her, it's like why do I have to go find I've committed myself to you. Why can't you just grow?
Why did you commit yourself coming into the situation knowing what it was?
There's this quote that says like don't marry like something to the effect of don't marry the potential, marry the person. Like marry the person who if they never change anything about themselves, you still want to be with them. Like don't marry them with the idea and the hope that they're going to change those things. So I feel what you're saying. Why did you commit yourself? But if a person falls for you and you fall for them and you all choose to do like this with each other, to like commingle with each other and to link and bond, link and build, you guys owe each other something. And I hate this new generation where it's like, you don't owe nobody nothing. It's like, yeah, you do. You owe people decency and you owe people the chance to have a good connection and a good life with them if you open up that door. If the door never opens, then fine. That's why I believe in celibacy. Like if you're not going to, and I know I'm wanting to talk right now, but but if you're not going to commit to a person in a real way, you shouldn't commit to them physically in that way. Because once you do that, it's like you've bonded with me in a real way, but you can't change your communication skills, nigga. Like I can give my entire body, soul, mind to you. Like this shit could affect me for the rest of my life. If I get pregnant right now, I'm connected to you for the rest of my life. Even if I don't get pregnant, there's connections there. But if I get pregnant, I'm connected to you for the rest of my life. God forbid she catch an STD, she catch something. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like this has the potential to ruin me or change me for the rest of my life. Anything of that magnitude is not something that you play with. I can share that with you, but you can't change your schedule, nigga, like your work schedule. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like if I'm and I'm with you. That's my favorite line. So I feel what you're saying. But being fair to her, to the young lady, it's like, damn, like, it's a smack in the face almost. But I do feel what you're saying because I think that women and just human beings need to do a better job of taking themselves less serious. I think, like, I know in my situation in life, I always found myself around people who just take themselves so serious. So they think the shit that they got going on is just bigger than the whole world. It's like everybody has every family has their problems. Like, you're not the first person to experience this, nor will you be like, you'll be all right. And that's I sometimes get a bad rap of just being careless, I guess, because I'm just kind of like, get the fuck, like, it's not that damn serious. Like, it's not gonna kill you.
But that's like the artist thing, right? That's you think that everything you do is the biggest thing in the world and your problem is the biggest problem in the world. It comes with that I guess what you could call, right, an ego. But it's not only the ego, it's just more so I'm so deeply invested in something that I can't see anything else that's more important. And I think that everybody should feel that way about something, right? Whether that's how people it's one thing, like it's like when people become parents. Some people make that their whole life, and that's because it is your whole life, right? But what I mean by that is that a lot of the times, say somebody becomes a parent young,
Yeah.
that becomes their whole identity. They don't know anything else anymore.
Yeah.
So again, somebody's playing a sport, that's their whole life forever. You hear about it all the times. Football players, baseball players, basketball players, they don't know anything else after they retire. So what ends up happening? They end up gaining a bunch of weight. They end up depressed. Like, there's a lot of things that happen when you tie your whole identity to something that you've pushed for so long.
You make a great point.
But anyways, going back to the situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, a lot of the times people fall in love with this idea of what somebody is. They fall in love with the potential. Do you think that when you I wrote a song about you, was it this person believing in a false reality or you not living up to circumstances you never asked for?
I think it was a mixture of both. I think that when we die and when we got to meet God, however that happens, I think that it's gonna be really funny when he sees me and says, the shit you did wasn't that big of a deal. Like, you was just committed to some shit. Like, your 22-year-old self was committed to your purpose that I gave you. Like, whoop de fucking do. You know what I mean? So I think it's a hybrid. I think in a perfect world, I could have done more of what may be expected of me. But I think also, like you said, like, I never like, none of the major. I got a good ass point, but again, I want to put my business. If I'm gonna put business out there, I'm gonna put mine's, not nobody else's. But I got a good ass point that I could talk to you about
Say
off
with your
air.
chest, bro. Say with
But
your chest.
none of the, like, major things that I've done in life, very rarely were they on my own accord. Like, usually it was me putting myself to the side. Like, when I moved out, that was like me and my girl's decision to move out. But it was like, she was like, hey, you need to get the fuck out of your grandma's house. I was perfectly fine being in my grandma's house, having free ass rent. Perfectly fine. I was 20. I'm 25 right now. I was maybe 21 at the time.
Damn, you got roped into the trap, bro.
Got roped right into that motherfucker. Rope a do. And the West Loop at that. That shit was expensive. I think about stuff like that. I think about getting a new car, getting the car that she wanted. I think about all of those sacrifices. I think about the groceries that I couldn't care less about, but I got because it was like her favorite things. I think about the restaurants that we went to that disclaimer, I couldn't give a fuck less about Noble. Couldn't care less. Like, you know, like, no disrespect to the people that I couldn't care less. The only times I've ever been to Noble in my life was for her. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm one of those, because of how my parents were, I'm one of those real, like, you give me a grilled cheese and some motherfucking tomato soup or like a good ass ginger ale, a good ass fish sandwich. You just saw me bust a fish sandwich down right outside. Like, I'm good. I'm content, bro. I don't care how much money I got. You put some good greasy ass food on my system, and I'm good. All of those finer things, which I honestly thank her for it, because I wouldn't have none of the shit that you hear me rap about would I be able to rap about if it wasn't for her. You know what I'm saying? Like my first time going to Mexico, no, not my first time going to Mexico, but the most expensive time going to Mexico was because of her. First time going to San Diego was because of her. First time going to Seattle wasn't because of her, but the second time was. First time in Miami, ironically enough, and I lived in fucking Clearwater, Florida for 4 years was because of her. I've been when I was a kid, but like first time as a grown adult. All of these luxurious things that I now talk about because I've just come accustomed to them. Watches and clothes and going places and hotel stays and shit. That was never my thing. I actually have a line about it on Domino, on Plush. I said Charlotte's Web was really about me. That chartreuse blazer with the rollie, really not me. I prefer Movado. My bravado made me cop these. Cause shorty like the plain Janes, but nothing plain about we. Like, I tell my real life in my music, bro. I don't do none of that cap shit, like none of it. Even that tells you what our dynamic was. Cause it was like any of the things of luxury that I liked or that I had, I didn't really give a fuck about that shit. Like, but if she like I'm one of those people, if you like it, I love it. And it was a smack in the face, fast forward to hear like, you put your music over me. You ain't never did shit. Like, you ain't never sacrificed shit. And it's like, every L I've ever taken, not because you yourself are an L, but every L that I've ever taken, like financially or otherwise, has come at the hands of trying to please you. So it's like, if there's one thing that I do sacrifice for, it would be you. Don't shit else get the level. Like, I've never musically in my own personal life, with my mama, with my sister, with my brother, not with nobody that means anything to me, have I ever put myself on a chopping block for some shit to go right in their life. I've helped out, I've assisted, but I've never damn near drove myself to bankruptcy in the name of any of them niggas. Not one time. And they can get on this podcast and tell you, hell
Crash
no.
the Benz.
Crash the Benz. That was, yeah. Yeah. Like, all of that. It's all been at the hands of, and again, this ain't in a bad way. This is just the love, the absolute love that I felt for her and that I felt and feel just for that relationship and for my life. It was like, I'll put myself second. But I wrote you a song. The way that even came about, to answer your question, was it was just like, I told you what I do. I told you what I'm trying to do for her. She's known me since we were this young. Anybody that's known me for any amount of time knows I've been a rapper since like third or fourth grade. This has always been what I put my life to. Even before we were friends, you knew that. And then we became friends and you really, really knew that. And then we started dating and you really, 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 really knew that. And then we moved in together and you really, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like each step of the way you knew more and more and more what my life was about. And even in that, my music didn't get nearly the amount of money that our relationship got. And I'm not gonna say her because it was it's our relationship. So it's like, I'm investing in the relationship, not in her as a human being. I'm not giving her $2,000. I'm paying $2,000 rent. That goes to both of us. That helps both of us have a roof over our head. You know what I'm saying? So it's an investment in our relationship, and that's not lost on me. But point is, in the name of us, I put way more into the business of us than I did into the business of my music. So that's how I wrote your song kind of came about, because it's like, even in me being so committed to the music, you still somehow find a way and found a way to come out on top over the music. If we saying numbers, like, and of course money ain't everything, but if we talking money and we go, what has gotten the most money in my life? It's like, the gap is like this. It's not even fucking close.
Which in turn, right, all of that happens at such a young age. All of that happens at 22 to 24. And you reflect on all of this and you look at it and you're like, damn, like, I was investing into you. I was trying to my best, right? I was putting my best foot forward. And for you to come here and say that it's still not enough, when is it going to be enough? Which then, right, you turn right around and you're like, all right, I'm gonna go make a song about it. All right, I'm gonna do XYZ. And you're still not gonna believe in it. So, like I mentioned earlier, when that happens, when that support is not there, it pushes you to go even farther into your career because you see that this person doesn't care, which,
Now,
oh,
I will say, I don't know if that's what was understood. She definitely supported, like up until she didn't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Up until she didn't give a fuck.
up until
Definitely
Love
was.
Punch,
Yeah,
where you say
yeah, till
further and
Love
further
Punch.
we get
Yeah, nah,
attached, the
she-
less that I respond, the more you start to react. 7 years and you still ain't purchased no ring yet. 7 years and you still a rapper that dream left.
That came from, she really said that shit. And that came from people hear that line. That's why you got to be careful as a rapper, because it's like you have the ability to just say a narrative and it's the stamp narrative as it goes and it catches traction. It's like, damn, that's what happened. People kind of took that line the wrong way where she was coming from. And it sounds so funny being like on the defending side of her side and shit. But where she was coming from was, I've supported this for 7 years and nothing has happened. Now, like, can we do something else? You know what I'm saying? Coming from that angle, not from the angle of, I've watched you do this shit from the sidelines for 7 years and I'm tired of it. Like, it was her overly supporting and just kind of getting tired of overly supporting. So it's like 7 years and you still a rapper that, like, that dream left. You know what I'm saying? Like, I done put up my bread, you done put up your bread, I done put up my time, you done put up your time. I done been at every show. She done watched me perform in front of just her. You know what I'm saying? I had a show up at Epiphany and it was her and like two of my cousins in that bitch. Like,
Damn,
literally.
the bitch was empty.
Bitch was empty. This is before it was from all elastic. So it's like she done seen that, but then she also saw me sell out Shubas. Ironically enough, when things started looking up, like it was like this for our entire relationship. And then like towards the end, it started doing like this.
And you know why that is?
Talk to me.
Because God takes away the things that are not serving you anymore and replaces them.
I'm gonna tell you why I hate that sentence. Because people aren't here to serve. Like, she's not here to serve me. Like, I feel like we here, I guess in the sense if we're here to serve each other, then yeah.
I say that because we'll put it this way, right?
Mhm.
When my relationship ended back in March, I was down bad. I was a sad boy for real. Shit was not good.
Damn, that's why I ain't see you nowhere.
You're funny as hell. May we get backstage passes to Sueños. So
Sueños.
the
Bad Bunny show?
the reggaeton festival that they
okay.
have in Grant Park.
Okay.
My first time getting media passes for a festival. I get hired as a full-time teacher. I'm booking bigger shit. You know what I'm saying? And like that whole time that I was in that relationship, like you said, like shit was moving, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh, my life is changing, right? And I remember one day in the summer, I was this PR company hit me up and I'm like, damn, like this is what I wanted that whole time. This is what I was chasing that whole time. And now that I semi have it, this person's not even here to see it. And I thought about it. I'm like,
You just said a word. You don't even realize what you just said, but continue.
but you want to know what it was? Is that I told the mind this too. One time, me and her had an argument, and her go-to method was always, okay, let's just break up then. That was always what the conversation led to. That's what the conversation always led to. And I told her, I was like, you think that I'm gonna be down bad? You think that like I'm not gonna survive? Like everything I ever did, every big thing I ever did, you weren't even a part of my life. And that was like, because I had graduated college, she wasn't there. I had started the podcast, she wasn't there. Like everything was set into motion by the time she came back. This was an on and off thing. So every time like she wasn't there, some shit was happening. When she came back, it was stagnant. So that's why I say that, right? God takes away the things that aren't meant to be there and gives you something new and pushes you in the direction that you're supposed to be. I'm not going to say the right direction, right? Because to each their own. I sometimes wish that it still was a thing. Unfortunately, it's not. But I wouldn't go and repair that. But I wouldn't I wouldn't replace everything that ever happened. I would redo it if I could.
You wanted her to be there for the stuff. Like you were doing stuff for you, but you wanted her to see it. And I think that's ego. Not a bad ego though. I have that same thing of like a lot of the moments in my life, a lot of my frustration came from like, you're never there to see me when I'm shining. You're only there to see me when I'm down bad. And I think the way we process it is like, damn, you bad luck. But the desire is like, man, you've done so much, which it may be hard for you to admit this, but I'll just speak for me. The way my heart processes it is if you strip the ego, what you really want to say is, damn, you've done so much for me and you've been through so much with me. Now with these major moments, it's like, regardless what happened, I almost want you to witness them. You don't got to be with me, but I almost want you to be right there witnessing them, not to get confused with me flexing on you. You know what I'm saying? But I want you to be there witnessing them just so you know that I wasn't a liar. I said I was going to do something and I did it.
I think part of the issue for me is that it ended on such bad terms that like that could never be a thing. That could never even be like, I mean, maybe that person is happy for me, but shit, when that shit ended, they were subtweeting the fuck out of me.
I've never been cursed with that type, thank God.
Reposting and
Yeah.
liking shit all over.
Yeah,
TikTok
that for
and
sure.
shit.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm
that
saying?
For
like,
sure, yeah. But the
like,
actual tweet, hell no.
That
I ain't gonna make no tweets.
Nah, there was some tweets.
There was some tweets
There was
about
some
you?
tweets. But see, like, seeing that shit and constantly seeing it, it fucked with the way that I viewed myself.
That happens.
So I was seeing all this shit and I'm like, damn, am I a bad person? Like, am I really, like, was it always me? Was I really the 100% problem?
People project. I learned that all of the tweets Shorty was liking was about herself. And the way I learned that is because when we got back on good terms, when I would call her on them, she'd walk all of them back. If you really feel a way, especially women can't hold accountability even if they did the fuck wrong. But if they actually are convicted and they really felt that way, they damn sure not finna walk it back. They gonna be, I don't know what to tell you, nigga. Unless you just got you a really, really, really special one. Which chances are slim to none that you have somebody that's gonna know some shit is true and be like, yeah, you right, that was wrong. You know what I'm saying? Knowing good and well it was right. So what that taught me is, if you knew that wasn't true about me, what made you like them? Their brains, and this is not there as in women, there as in people, their brains go to, or our brains go to, I feel like this is what he or she is saying about me, so I'm going to jump ahead of it. And on top of that, another thing that'll help you out is, this may be toxic, but if you really felt that way about me, you would have been left me.
And to that point, right, one of the last conversations we had, it was, go ahead, go talk about me, go say whatever you got to say. Because when this shit started, it was revolved around, this was like on and off for 6 years. So it was revolved around this relationship, right? That's how this all started. So she had told me, she's like, go ahead, say whatever you're going to say. So in between all of that, right, I didn't start talking about this shit till 2 weeks ago on the podcast. Happened in March. It's October. That's 7 months. So for 7 months, I was getting bashed over fucking Twitter and all this shit, right? I didn't have anything to say. I think that I held on to that because I was like, I don't know. I didn't want to say anything bad. And then eventually I was like, okay, I can talk about it. I'll be like, I'm good to talk about it now. You know what I'm saying?
Everyone is a bad person. And everyone is a good person. Everyone has bad moments. Everyone has good moments. Somebody will say, well, this person had worst moments to me. That's not true. Who's worse, the thief or the murderer? Right? The murderer takes someone off of this earth. It's the worst possible thing you could do. The thief takes from someone who worked hard to have something and they take. You don't know that could end with that person losing everything, which is the exact same thing as you losing your life. Who's worse in that situation? It's just different types of bad. Everyone is capable of different types of evil. You're not capable of peace unless you're capable of evil. And that's the lesson that I've had to learn just from watching podcasts, reading books, reading just different literature and shit. It's like, I read this thing where it's like, how can you say that you're peaceful when you're not capable of great violence? If you're not capable of violence, you're not peaceful, nigga. You're just harmless. If I get into this room right now, I'm a 10th degree black belt. And you pissing me off. You've never done any kind of training and some shit. I could whoop, not you, but like that part, I could whoop their ass. I am choosing in this moment to be peaceful. That person is not being peaceful if they sit in the corner like, oh shit. You're not being peaceful. You're harmless, nigga. You can't do nothing to me. So there's a difference. And that's the yin and the yang. Like that's that symbol. Like you're capable of great evil, but Newton's second law of motion, for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. The magnitude of evil that you're capable of, you're capable of that same good. The magnitude of good that you're capable of, you're capable of that same evil. So when I look at my girl or my exes or whoever I'm talking about, it's like, I'm not bad. I'm not worse than you. I'm not better than you. We're just both capable of two different types of evil. Absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. That shit was hard to me.
Break it down.
What I took from it was, we get into these arguments with women. Women get into these arguments with men. Women are much more emotional usually than men. So they can just rant off, you did this, you did that, For a man, we just like, if we say anything, we just like, you hurt my feelings. Because we have less negative shit to say about you, it seems like you just won that fight. So that's the absence of evidence. Like, I can't list off everything because I'm not no bitch. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be like, well, on December 13th, 2000, you said this, that, and the third. Women can do that. Women can go date times. It's instant. Like, we can't do that. I just got into that situation today. I'm like, I can't even pull from that fucking far. I just know you hurt my feelings. So we have the absence of evidence, but it's not evidence of absence, meaning it's not, that doesn't prove that what I'm saying happened didn't happen. That just proves that it don't prove shit. It's just, we're different people. You're a woman. You can pinpoint Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I can't. So I really like that sentence because it's like, damn, the absence of evidence doesn't mean evidence of the you know what I'm saying, of absence. Like that doesn't prove anything just because I can't run off all of your bad qualities. And I look at people funny who the second something goes south, they running off all your bad qualities to their parents, to their friends, to Twitter, to socials. Cause I'm like, two things. One, and I'm sorry to rant, but two things. One, I look at you as a person like you probably was doing that shit already. So now it's just like, whew, you know what I'm saying? Like bullet dodged. But then number two, it's like, what if this shit works out? Now you look like a dumbass, and I gotta look like a dumbass with you. You feel me? Like, it's like, that's what be in my head, because I'm king block spinner.
That's you right
like
now.
King, bro, I'm king block spinner, bro. I've never not spent a block in my life. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, now we both gotta look fucking stupid at Thanksgiving dinner because you wanted to run your mouth about some personal shit between the two of us. And then if I ran my mouth about your shit, because that's the funny shit. The worst thing that has ever happened to me from any woman, their people don't know about it. One day I'm going to write a book, yo. Like, I swear to God, at 30 years old, my birthday gift to myself is going to be what these motherfuckers did to me. And I'm going to put names, I'm going to put dates, times, all of that shit. And I'm going to be like, here, since motherfuckers want to, here you go. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to just send that shit to niggas, yo. I'm telling you, that shit gonna be a New York Times bestseller. Because again, men don't just
ebook.
Bro, that shit gonna be an ebook with like what's the shit's called, like the audio book, bro, with my voice going through, like, for real, bro. Like,
Talk to Hayes. He knows how to put
Bro,
that together.
I'm already knowing. I'm going to list off everything. Because, again, absence of evidence. Men are not like, you know what I'm saying? So we won't just... When my mom asked me what's going on in my relationship life, I'd be like, shit, cool. Dead ass. That's my response. When, you know what I'm saying? They moms, it's, this nigga said, da-da-da-da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? It's like, they just got all this shit. And it's like, come on. You know what I'm saying? Like, where's your cool, bro? I just think that talking shit is stupid. Don't subtweet me. Don't like no shit about me. Don't repost no shit. Don't play like that with me. Y'all heard my last sad boy interview. Don't play it because because when I get to talking, that shit gonna be on record. This motherfucking phone coming out. And I'm master wordsmith with these words. When I get to talking and I get to telling your story, my side of the story from my eyes, I'm gonna make sure to leave all of your good parts out, just like you left all of my good parts out. And my shit gonna get 100,000 streams. And that's 100,000 motherfuckers saying shit like you be saying to me when you walk up on, you know what I'm saying, to me like, man, fuck that bitch, da-da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? She could be the greatest person in the world, but you only heard my side of the story. So you're biased to my side. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like,
And they're gonna be singing along.
They're gonna be singing that shit.
Which brings it back to Lovepunch, right? Each time you go into the pre-chorus, it's like you're driving that knife in. Like, you're just twisting that bitch, right? You say I'm special, but you're not around, so not sure I'm unique. And if you was to be with who you love, I'm not sure that it's me.
Ooh, that's her talking.
Somehow you always win. Somehow you always found a way to stop before it began. Then you ran and you never quite got back to me again. And that's just the first pre-chorus. That shit hit twice, right? Because I know I should have took the time to let you grow. We grown, so it's better that you leave. Whoever had you first, save the lesser half for me.
Ooh, that shit just gave me chills, yo. Y'all hear this shit?
Knowing that there was work needed to be done, why couldn't you seem to let go?
Because why let go? Like, just do the work. You know what I'm saying? Commit yourself to the work. It's like a stock. Like, if you see a good stock, like a good company, like Celsius. I really like Celsius as a company. Not the drink, but the company. I like the drink, too. In fact, go buy the drink because my portfolio needs some help right now.
Break it down real quick, right? Why couldn't you let go of this relationship? Seeing the constant back and forth, seeing the tumultuous state that it continuously ended up in, right? Because this isn't the first song you write about the relationship. Like, this same person had told you you'll probably die alone.
Damn, I forgot that song.
That was the one that made me a fan.
Again, when you committed to something, you see it through. That's not the worst things that's been said to me. And I think that it doesn't matter what's said, it matters who says it. If I called you a bitch right now, you would be very upset. And you'd probably want to fight me. You'd probably punch me in my mouth. But we probably could grab a beer like 2 weeks from now, more than likely. Because there's a relationship there. If a random stranger, you just walked outside and nigga was like, boy, your ass a bitch. He may not make it home safely. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's not so much the word, it's the who says it. You could say that I ain't gonna amount to shit, but I know you don't mean that. Because you wouldn't have invested all that you invested in.
Somebody that's in love with you telling you you're probably going to die alone.
I've never said no shit like that, but I've said equal worse things, you know what I'm saying, when I've been mad. And I'm one of those people that at least I fail sometimes, but I do try to be fair in the sense of if you steal $1,000 out of my account, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got a joint account and it's like you take some money that wasn't supposed to be spent. That's stealing. That's a leavable offense. Like, I can't trust you. But if I know I cheated on you 6 months ago, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm one of those. Now, most men, their brain, like, I was laughing with my cousin Flood one day. We was talking about a situation. And he was like, the way his brain is wired is, if you don't know that I did that, then you don't have no reason to do what you just did. Because it ain't like you did it for pay. Like, you have no clue that I did. So you just did that on your own recognizance. Which I get that. But for me, it's like, I know I did something wrong. So it's like, I'll let you rock.
That's called guilt, dog.
It's definitely guilt. But no, that it's super guilt. I don't think that it's not guilt. But I think that guilt is necessary. Just like shame is necessary. Just like ego is necessary. Just like pride is necessary. All of these evil things, quote unquote, that we talk about, I think they're necessary for growth and for a healthy relationship. I don't want to be with a motherfucker that don't feel guilty about nothing. With me, personally. I want you to feel guilty because from guilt comes grace. You'll be much more graceful with me if you have shame about things. If you know, like, it's like a woman with no shame, they're usually graceless as well. You know, like I'm off air, you know what I'm saying? We just like I'm dealing with that situation I was talking about. The whole problem is like you have no shame. And because you have no shame, you don't have no grace for me. You think that the little shit that I did, that if you talk to our grandmothers, our aunties and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like motherfuckers that's been married for 30 years, they'd be like, girl, you mad at that? At that little ass shit? You know what I'm saying? But it's like because you don't have no guilt for anything. Like you don't know how to look at, damn, I did do this to this nigga. I did this, I did that, I did that. You don't possess no guilt. And because of that, you don't possess no shame. And because of that, you can't have grace. Because to you, you perfect. So you think that you deserve a perfect person. And my favorite part about that is God is so funny. Because God gonna give you a motherfucker of equal caliber to your bullshit. So let's see how perfect you are. Because God, it's like you either believe in God or you don't. I love motherfuckers that believe in God. People that don't believe in God, they get off easy because it's like anything that happens is like, fuck, you know what I'm saying? It's just an L. But motherfuckers that believe it, that be ultra religious, I love dealing with them. Cause now, if God is so real, this shit that's happening in your life is from him. It's allowed to happen by him. And you believe that he has your best interest, which he does. He has your best interest at heart, and he's only gonna give you what you give him, what you give the universe. The universe is only going to give you back what you give it. Now you leave me to your point. You go find the person that checks off all those boxes and you end up in a living hell. Is that God's fault? Is that person's fault? Or is that just a reflection of who you were the whole time?
And that's sometimes just because what you think you needed wasn't what you needed at all.
At all. 100%. You know what I'm saying? And I think that it's the men's job. That's where I fell short as a man is I could be better with like leading, with being a leader. You know what I mean? With saying like, as opposed to getting emotional and matching a woman's emotions, I think you could get better with, look, I understand you mad about this, that, and the third. You know, like treating them like children, no disrespect. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you mad, you know what I'm saying? Wipe your tears, whatever. Having I like to have a 3-step process. First, acknowledge what they say, even if it's the dumbest shit in the world, acknowledge it as if it's the most important thing to you. And then offer a kind of a massage to the situation, even if it's something simple like, let's go get some ice cream and talk about it. I'm sorry that happened. You know what I'm saying? And then once their guard is down, then offer the solution. What we like to do is we so solution oriented. In the heat of the moment, we be like, why don't you just go do this, that, and the third? It's like, oh my God, you hate me. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I'm just offering a solution. Like, you just brought a problem. Why can't I just give you a solution?
What was it you continuously found yourself holding on to?
It was the memories. You know, you have so many memories with a person. I said earlier, like, watch his clothes. There was a point where my entire wardrobe was purchased by her. Not because I ain't have no money, but because at that time, I didn't care about fashion. I was so into music. Like, I didn't give, and she will get on this bitch right now and say, yeah, this nigga did not buy a single item of clothes. Like, not one. So all of the things, not all of the things, but a lot of the things that I love now and that I grew to love and that I grew to be meticulous about, she kind of introduced those things in my life. So it's like, even though I could go upgrade, so to speak, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, you got all of these issues. It's easy for me to go find a woman with no baggage, with no history with me. I'm just starting off with a clean slate. But why do that? Like, that's where my head was. Like, why do that when we have all of this history? If there's anybody that deserves half of my shit, it would be her. You know what I'm saying? Over my sister, over my brother, theoretically over my mom, if it's married. Like, once you talk marriage, the wife comes before the mom. So if anybody deserves half, it would be her. And I think as a man, we always think financially. But sometimes that half is just half of me. You know what I'm saying? If anybody deserves 50% of my time, it would be her. If anybody deserves 50% of my effort, it's her. And 50% is a lot. You got 24 hours in a day. 12 of those bitches you deserve. Will I give them to you? Probably not a full fucking 12. That's crazy. But you technically would, if we were legally married and we went to court and time was the unit of currency, they would say you owe her 12 hours a day. Would they not? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I was going back to the memories and just being a man and being a man of consequences, being a man of honor, trying to be, of just, you know what? And this is it was fun while it lasted. That's 2021, 2022. Like, it's like, even back then, we 3 years after that now, but even back then, it was like, I'm gonna try one more time. Cause it's like, you deserve to try one more time. So yeah, the memories, the good times, the bad times, shit, even the bad times, somebody that's seen you at your worst, we don't talk about that enough. I don't want nobody else to see me the way that you saw me.
And that's why I say, like, even if I could redo it, like, I wouldn't change anything about what had happened, right? And I think sometimes a lot of people are so quick to erase all of that. A lot of people are so quick to just replace it, right? Because they don't want to, I don't know, revisit that. They don't want to feel that anymore. But it's like, that shit shaped you. Like, it formed who you are in the present day, right? And on top of that, like, it wasn't all bad. Like, yeah, you could look at it as all bad, but was it really all that bad? Because you were there for that long.
Like you said, unless you're a crazy person, you wouldn't have stayed all this long if this shit was just the worst thing in the world. And I had to swallow that pill too, because I find myself, my just toxic trait just as an artist is I find myself like, when I tell stories, I harp on the negative so much because it be so much.
That's the easy part to lay into.
It's hard to say, damn, I've lost somebody that give me a good birthday gift every year. I've lost somebody that cook for me. I've lost somebody that will call off work if I'm sick. Like, that's a hard, like, once you start saying that, you be like, hold on. You know what I'm saying? You start backtracking. It's easy to wake up in the morning and say, she called me a bitch. She called me a good for nothing. She said I should die. You know what I'm saying? Going, but that's like, oh yeah, fuck her. You know what I'm saying? Like, it helps you get through your day.
And it's easy for people to relate to that, right? And just like you mentioned, right? I lost all these things. When you lose all of that at such like an early age, right? I'm 24. When you think that this is it, this is what my life is gonna be, and then you lose it, it makes you restructure everything and try to find this new normal, right? And that's something that you mentioned to me, finding this new form of what normal looks like. I didn't realize what your new form of normal had to be.
Yeah. Yeah. That shit is a new normal for sure.
You close out Lovepunch by saying shit is over as it is. We just fighting for relief. We just fighting for remains. Can't say I called it, but I knew the first time it felt distant, it was stained.
The first verse is her talking to me. The middle verse is me responding. The third verse is her responding to my response. So that's her talking. Some people take that as me talking. That was her talking. That was her saying, that was another real conversation of, if we, and I don't want to put too much of my personal business out there again, but like, hypothetically, if we broke up on March 1st, 2024, we really broke up on like April 3rd, 2022. Like, it was a 2-year period where we were just soulless casings of each other. And it was like just kind of going through the motions, but there was no real intimacy there. There was no real intention there. A relationship requires intention, and it requires a lot of it. And it requires sacrifice and struggle. And we both could have done better in that regard. And when things got bad, it was like, it was hurtful, but it wasn't surprising. It was like, we saw this, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I say, in her voice, I was like, can't say I caught it, but I knew the first time it felt distant, it was stained. Cause it was like, I can't say that it was gonna end this bad, but I would be lying if I said that I wasn't, you know what I'm saying, like getting my escape plan together type shit. This is her talking
You
and me
prepare it
talking.
all.
Yeah, like
You-
just prepared. Like I started saving money, putting money to the side to get another place of my own. I ended up moving out and shit like 6 months before the lease even ended. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you start doing shit like this ain't gonna end to it. Like it's like seeing a fucking nuke come. Like you in Russia. No, you're in Asia and you watching a nuke pass over Russia. It's like the next place that shit is gonna be at is your. I'm not great at geography, so that could be totally off base, but y'all get the point. The next place that shit is gonna be hovering over is my doorstep. So let me just go ahead and get my, you know what I'm saying, all of my shit together now. And it was like I saw it, but more than me, because I was so trapped into the music, I think she saw it first. And I know she saw it first because she started treating me like she wasn't with me. I stopped, like, that's the one thing I could walk away with confidence is I kept treating her like she was my girl. Like, I started, like, we used to have arguments. Like, it's like, damn, you don't do this, that, and the third no more. She started treating me like I was a stranger to her.
You started talking to you like HR?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, damn, what the fuck? But in retrospect, that's why I put that verse. I'm like, oh, you saw this coming.
And that's why I sent you the song while I was in Mexico. I woke up fucked up.
Yeah.
I was fucked up. But I woke up playing the song. I'm like, damn, bro. I just kept replaying it, right? The first time it felt distant, I knew it was stained.
So did you go to Mexico, like, to get away from that?
No, we went to Mexico for a wedding. Yeah.
Oh, you and the girl?
No.
I'm like, whoa, you a freak.
No.
Okay.
I went to Mexico for like somebody's wedding.
Okay. I thought you said, okay.
No. I went to Mexico.
Damn.
For somebody's wedding.
Okay.
Yeah, I had gone to Mexico and I was playing the song over and over on repeat. And I was just like, damn. I like just laying there. Like, damn, bro. That's why I sent that shit to you. I was like, this a hit, bro. This the one. This the one.
Definitely one of my favorite songs. It got too much negative shit attached to it though, so I try not to listen to it. Cause it puts the fans in a good place. It puts me in like an awful place. Like I actually took it out of my set list for Saturday.
You're not even playing it Saturday?
I rehearsed it, man. Believe it or not, I rehearsed that and a few other songs. And I ain't gonna say which song, but one of the songs I started crying, bro.
Which song, bro?
I ain't gonna say
which song?
I ain't gonna say it. I'm a little bitch.
Is it It Ends in Disaster?
Nah. That's not even on the set list. It's I should have put that on the set list. I didn't even think about that. But it's from Until His Burial. But I just started tearing up like a little hoe.
Not Check on You.
Check on You.
It was Check on You?
It was a mixture of like 3 different ones. I'll tell you off here.
Okay.
But it was.
So when you look back, right, a lot of this conversation has been about the relationship. When you look back, how did it change your view on love?
I'm always gonna love. Like I'll fall out of love today and fall in love again next week. And of course, people gonna be like, "That's not love, it's lust." But nah, that should be love, bro. I don't fall in love easy, but I stay in love pretty easy. Cause like once I'm in love with you, I'm in love with you. So my viewpoint on love, I'm like the Drake lyric. Drake has a lyric where he says, "It's on Keep the Family Close." I want to say on the intro of Views, he says something like, "If I ever love you, I'll always love you." That's how I was raised. I think I said it exactly how it goes. Actually, I'm kind of the same way. Like if I ever had any form of love for you, like it's like you always gonna have a spot in my heart. Not to say that you'll always have the same access. Like you'll always be able to call me and ask for a favor. Like if you ask me, for, you know what I'm saying, just some regular shit, like you need $5 for the bus or something, like cool. But I don't know if, you know what I'm saying, I ain't take you to O'Hare no more. You know, that O'Hare is you know, I mean, that shit reserved for special people in my life. And yeah, my viewpoint on love never changed. I don't think it will ever change because that's the crux of what Islam is about and what Christianity is about. Like, I believe it was Paul who said something to the effect of, let me pull out my journaling because I actually journaled this not too long ago. Paul said, of faith, of hope, and of charity or love, the greatest there is love. So faith, hope, charity, and love. The greatest of those 4 would be love. Jesus's principles were It was love. It was all based in love. Like there's nothing on this earth more important than love. Love would solve every problem that you have in life, every last one.
My mom sent me a TikTok today. She sent it to me and my brother, and it was I literally watched it right before we started chopping it up. And the guy, it's a graduation speech, and the guy is saying that, when people are on their deathbed, they don't ask to see their trophies, their diplomas, their degrees. They ask to see the people that they love. That love is the greatest thing on this earth, and cherishing those relationships is the most important thing you can do. And I find that so ironic because obviously with what we do, we sacrifice a lot of those relationships. Sometimes we think that we have to. Sometimes we think that it's impossible to do every single thing that we want to. And we don't realize that we really could have until shit falls apart. So, yeah, that TikTok, I was like, ironic as fuck that I'm fucking sitting here about to record.
It's deep, bro. Love is, you don't find it often. So when you find it, you got to hold on to it. That kind of answers your previous question of why do I stay? Because it's like, you don't find it that often. And love isn't the absence of hurt. Like, I wish people would stop thinking that if you love somebody and if they love you, they're not going to hurt you. You're not going to hurt them. You can only hurt somebody that you love. If I don't have any love, it ain't shit you could do. You know what I'm saying? You going to fuck somebody and that shit ain't going to affect me at all. It's only love where now we're talking about hurt. We're talking about betrayal. We're talking about all of those emotions, those really negative emotions. And in this new age, they be like, if he makes you feel like that, he doesn't love you. If you make him feel like that, you don't love him. He don't love, like, whatever the case. And it's like, we wouldn't have this dynamic if there was no love there. And yeah, love is just too important to pass up on. And when you find it, you gotta fight like hell to keep it. You have to fight like hell to keep it. Cause these streets, bro, like, this shit is cold. This shit is rough. They don't love nobody. They don't give a fuck. Like, everybody is out for themselves. I know some women in my life, bro. Like, they be going on dates with niggas, and it's like their whole purpose is getting a free meal and hopefully a gift out of the situation.
So then in No More Interludes, you say, now he got to deal with the tremendous pressures, fall for a woman who pretends to catch him, fall out of love and suffer from the introspection. I just learned for the first time I use the women in my life as crutches. What made you come to this realization?
Me asking myself that question long before you asked it to me. Like, damn, why does someone and something that hurt me so much have so much access to my life? You know, it's a crutch. Like, that's all it could. That's the only thing that could be. That's called insanity, by the way. According to Einstein, you do the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. That's called insanity.
But what was it you were leaning on? The familiarity?
It's familiar. It's warm. It's a home. You know what I'm saying? Like, having a home is underrated, yo. Like, somewhere you could just go and it's familiar. Like, it's your couch, it's your TV. You could turn it on, you could turn it off, you could watch whatever you want. I don't want to go build a whole new home. Like, that shit is hard. Getting a house is easy. Paying rent is easy. But a home, shit, they got memories, they got pictures on the wall and shit. They got y'all favorite snacks in the pantry. Like, a home, that's hard to come across. So it's like, I'm leaning on, if Monday through Saturday is god awful, we fighting every day, but Sunday, it's a nice snowy day outside that we laying on the couch and we holding each other and we watching a good movie. To
Damn,
me,
bro, about to make me shed a tear.
nah, for real, that should be worth it to me. You know what I'm saying? Call me crazy, but it's like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I've just never experienced a real healthy love before, but to me, that's shit. That's love. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you willing to put up with that stuff, go through it. I don't think that you should volunteer yourself for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it starts off that bad, then you kind of crazy. But if it starts off good, that's the point I've been trying to make this whole time. It just came to me. If you go 3 years and the relationship is perfect and then it gets bad, something happened. Like, you can repair that thing that happened. If it starts off and it's like those red flags are there, then you might want to go your separate way. But if it starts off and she checks off every box and he checks off every box, that's why she make me so mad. Because like, why all of a sudden I don't check off these boxes no more? You know what I'm saying? Like,
So what happened? What broke?
that's the thing that you have to get to the bottom of. But it ain't like I changed or you changed or I'm a bad person, you a bad person. We committed a transgression against each other, and we need to get to the bottom of it. We need to do what Scientology calls auditing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to get to the bottom of that issue and unravel that issue from there. And then we'll realize it wasn't even that big. Probably some goofy shit like snoring in my sleep or something. Like, that probably was
So you still don't know what broke?
I know what happened as a result, but I don't know where the switch was when the switch happened. Do not. One day we were madly in love and like, you know what I'm saying, Jay-Z and Beyonce. And then the next day it was just like, nigga, fuck you. I did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, damn, what, you know what I'm saying? Like, what changed with both of us?
So then with Until His Burial, was it you bearing this old version of yourself or bearing the time period that all of that was happening? Or what was the significance behind the title?
Essentially that. It was back to that suicide theme. And it was like, I don't want to say theme as if it's a brand, but
I was gonna say, damn, bro, I thought we got away from it.
Nah, we
Whole
off of
time
that.
it was in the title.
Nah. But it's until we get there, let's discuss this. Until we go to these grand finales, let's try to get to the bottom of the problem. That's why you hear me talk. I'm talking to myself a lot on that project. On Lovepunch, I'm talking to myself in the realest way. I'm belittling myself, talking about how it was 0 people in my crowd. You know what I'm saying? Like, in her shoes, I'm talking to myself. I wrote you a song. I'm not talking to myself, but I'm talking about myself. Check on you, talking just about my life, but then back to Last Resort. I dipped back into me and her life. It's like going through brother. I'm talking to myself about my brother and saying, damn, he needs this love and this validation. I can't give it to him because I'm not that person. That's not my personality. Like, all through that album, I'm spanking myself, pause. Like, I'm smacking myself on the wrist and around, you know what I'm saying? Like, because of my flaws and because of my problems. And I figured that maybe journaling those flaws would help me get through them. So it's like, until his burial, like, until we get there, let's discuss things that maybe prevent us from getting there. And honestly, not for nothing, it did. My relationship with all of the people that I mentioned on this project got drastically better after releasing this project. I told you I ran into, like, shortly thereafter. She was like, I love this project. It's incredible. And I've never got that validation from her ever.
So then how did you see yourself grow from each of these 3 projects? Because we talked a bit about some of the songs off Domino. Not as in-depth as Until His Burial, but right.
Domino is the final evolution because it's like, during It Was Fun While It Lasted, I was hurt. I was depressed. I was damn near toxic because I was just a ball of hurt. And it was just pointing like, like, look at what you did to me. Until His Burial, it was like, look at what I did to myself. And then Domino, it's like the biggest fuck you to me and her and to everybody else. It's like, that shit don't matter. Let's have some fun. Orange is fun. Sweet Life is fun. Like, I'm almost laughing at the shit that used to bring me pain. Like, Sweet Life, I say, I need a place to heal for real. I need a woman worth dealing with. Her face card got to be trill for real. Friendly as fuck. It kills us still. Like, that used to be one of the biggest arguments. I'm too friendly with bitches. That used to be one of the biggest. Once a week, she would argue with me about how friendly I was. So on Until His Burial, I'm rapping from a place that shit is affecting me. And I'm kind of real serious about it. On Domino, it's like, I'm friendly. Like, yeah, I am friendly. So the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are you going to do about it? Like, who cares? That shit doesn't hurt anybody at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I'm kind of, whether bad or good, time will tell, but I'm kind of laughing at the things that once brought me pain and that once brought me so much turmoil. I've grown to the point where I could just laugh at it. Because I've grown so much beyond it. Now that I'm more to myself, at that time I was friendly. Now, ironically enough, when I make the song, I'm the furthest thing from friendly. Now I don't hang out with no fucking body, especially not women, cause yeah, that shit just come with you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, keep me the far the fuck away. Now my circle, you know what I'm saying? That shit is tighter than anything. So ironically enough, when it starts not relating, that's when I make the song about it. But it's like I'm just kind of laughing at it now. Domino is me really being, I don't want to say my final revolution because I got a long way to go, but it's of this trilogy, it's like the final, like the next project probably won't have shit to do with this depression shit, this girl shit. Like it's gonna be a whole new life. It's gonna be my child. It's gonna be new money, new opportunities, new location, hopefully, new home, maybe even a new state, new city. Um, just new everything. Like it's gonna be
You trying to go
some.
to LA, bro?
I'm not an LA nigga at all.
Yeah, I don't like
I don't know
LA.
about LA.
I
Yeah.
hated it out there.
I like it out there, but I like it in spurts. If I moved to California, it would be San Diego.
Yeah.
But if I move, it'll probably be like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Arizona. Maybe. I don't know. I don't
That
know.
sounds
Because I don't
like a
like the
crazy ass
heat.
place.
Yeah. My next place I move will probably be purely financial based. Like whoever has the least taxes type shit.
You recently posted something and it said the dominoes are falling, right?
I think you're talking about a post that Danny posted. And probably share with me, like tag me in type shit. Yeah, yeah. Mine said, I posted that video, but mine's had a different caption. His said the dominoes are falling.
So what was the significance behind domino? Why title it that? You went from a full ass fucking sentence to one word.
That's all it was. I went from having so much to say to having nothing to say at all. If I could title it nothing, I would have done that.
Bro, I know you didn't just name it domino to name it domino.
Swear to God.
You just picked a random word out the fucking dictionary.
I'm tired of giving people so much power over my life. It was fun while it lasted. Look how sad that is. Like, look how much power you have over.
That was my favorite fucking title.
I know.
That and
It was
Tree
mine
Nobies.
too.
What was Tree? You
I know
remember
what you're
Trees?
talking about.
I thought we were having fun.
Yeah, that shit is hard. That shit is hard. I love those titles a lot. But with this project, because of what it means to me, like I'm saying, it was some fun shit. And me just having fun and enjoying myself and being in a good place in life, even through the bad shit. It's like I'm in a great place in life. I got so many. This is the most blessed year I've ever had. I'm getting blessed. Every day I get a new blessing. Every day. That's how I know that I'm not as bad as a person as she or anybody else would try to make you seem. Because it's like, if I'm this bad and God has blessed me in that way, we got to question some things. Like, usually you can always tell, which don't get it fucked up. The devil blesses. The devil can bless you. And you better be real careful to watch what blessings you accept and which ones you deny. That's why the power of no is so, it's so important. But the blessings that I'm getting, I sometimes pray and I be like, man, Allah, if I'm fucking up, let me know. Like, make it abundant. I literally have prayed for Allah to bring bullshit to my life to let me know. Like, I've prayed, like, if I'm fucking up, stop me in my tracks right now with everything I got going on. And I'll get the biggest call of my life the next day to, like, do this or to do. And it's like, come on, bro. Like, I'm not saying I'm not making mistakes, but clearly I'm not this evil motherfucker that you would like to paint me as. You know what I'm saying? Clearly. And even in those moments where I start thinking I am, Allah lets me know, like, stop. Back to that point of everybody is bad. She just as bad as you are. She's just as good as you are. But to the domino thing, I was just tired of giving people so much power over me. And it was just like, how can I word this in the easiest way? Life is falling apart, but it's also beautiful. And I just thought about what's something that falls. And it's like domino, you know, one falls and they all fall behind it. That's been my life. It was fun while it lasted happened. And then I ended up living out. It was fun while it lasted. I lived out Wait on Me word for word, bar for bar. That second verse. Marriage on horizon. I'm in love. It's hard to hide. The child emojis in the comments. Give it time. It's like, dog, what? Word for word. That domino fell. And then that brought me into Until His Burial. And I'm rapping about this turmoil with this girl. And then the turmoil gets worse, and that domino falls. And then that domino brings me to now. The child that I rapped about that didn't exist on It Was Fun While It Lasted now exists for Domino. And now I'm rapping. And now I actually had to retroactively go and change Domino. Domino just got submitted 2 weeks ago. I added a song. First Order of Business wasn't on there at first.
Yeah, I felt like there was something that wasn't on there.
First Order of Business wasn't on. I added that because of the child. And I'm like, let me throw this little Easter egg out there. And again, I don't plan on, making that be a thing until I'm ready for it to be a thing, because that's my own personal life, my own personal business. But I threw it on there because you got to make it make sense. And a lot of things about me don't make sense because I never really care to tell my side of the story. But now I'm in the era now where I'm telling my side of the story with shit. That's why I was saying earlier, like, be very fucking careful what you say about me. Because I'm in, like, now I don't got shit better to do. My money good, bro. My skin is good. My house is beautiful. It's a home again. My job is great. Everything, the music is great. Everything is going incredible. My health is good. I'm in the best shape of my fucking life. I just ran 3 miles the other day just because I was literally bored and was like, you know what? Let me just go run 3 miles real quick. And I did it without stopping one time. I kept my pace the entire time. I was just just going. You know what I'm saying? Listening to music. I wasn't even paying attention to the jog. I was running and like checking my phone at the same time and shit. Like, I'm in the best shape of my life. I went into the gym at 9:30 p.m. Dude said that the gym closed in 30 minutes. I was just like, let me just hit some bench press real quick. And I'm just killing that shit, bro. Smoking shit I don't need no spot. I don't need none of that. And it's such a metaphor for my real life. And it's like, yeah, I'm just in a place now where it's like, I got time. Like, niggas ain't finna just run these narratives. No. You should have did that shit when I was working on It Was Fun While It Lasted. You know what I'm saying? When I was scared, when I was cowardly to, you know what I'm saying? If I wanted to tell my side, I had to put it in the music. Same with Until His Burial. Now, don't play with me. I got all the time. I ain't got shit, but Domino is out. My show is this Saturday. I'm taking a break. Like, bruh, I got nothing but time.
Why is it you say karma's catching up?
My karma is catching up because it's like, you can't play with certain shit. And it's like, I'm rapping about this relationship that's having turmoil, and instead of building on it, not building on a turmoil, but instead of building on a relationship, I'm making art with it. That's going to catch up to you. But you have the choice. Again, it's not an evil thing to do. God, you die, you go to God. God ain't going to be like, you evil. You just made your choice. You made your bed, you got to lay in it. You could have, that energy, that 50% energy that we was talking about earlier, those 12 hours, you could have put that in the studio, or you could have gave her 12 hours of your day. You could take me back to that day 100 times over, and I'm always going to choose studio. But when you choose studio, the relationship suffers even more. And that karma is catching up of just now. My music is going better than ever. But ironically enough, the person that I started doing this for isn't there to see it. And couldn't care less about how I could get a Grammy tomorrow. I could bet you I wouldn't get a congratulations text. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that be the ironic shit. Like, all of it, you know what I'm saying? Like, now you just here at the top of the mountain for no fucking reason, just by yourself and shit.
Sad boys for real.
Sad boys for real.
You know what they say? The top is lonely.
It don't gotta be, though, bro. We gotta stop thinking like that. The top don't gotta be lonely, man. It don't gotta be. You know what I'm saying? You got brothers, you got siblings, you got your mother, you got your family, your friends. And then you need man needs woman, yo. You need companionship. Don't let these Twitter niggas lie to you.
But that's the point, right? Is that, like, there's no relationship like having a partner. Like, your brother, your mom, your family, like, that's your family, but it's not the same.
It's not at all.
Shit, it be like that, bro.
I love interviews that end with, like, it be like that. You know what I'm saying? Fuck it, I'll be all right, though.
I appreciate you, bro.
Of course, of course.
Somehow we always end up talking for like 3 hours.
Bro, because it's real life. Because we don't cap in our shit, man. Sometimes you be bringing niggas up here to just be talking. You know what I'm saying? They don't be telling their true life. I'm going to give you my true life every time. That's why I come up here spent. Like, I'm probably not going to see you for another 2 or 3 years now. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I can't just be in this bitch gossiping all day long.
Make sure you guys go ahead and check out Kayo's new album, Domino. Anything you want to plug?
Just go be good people, man. Don't underestimate what being a good person can do for you. I had to learn that lesson the hard way a few years back. Don't be like me. You know, if you watching this, start today to go be a good person. Whenever you think about making a bad decision, do 50 push-ups, and I promise it'll change your whole energy, your whole spirit around that decision.
Make sure you guys go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. Sad Boys for real. Peace out.
This is Sad Boy Radio.